At first glance, this eye-catching creature has a lot going for it, visibly. So my thesis here might seem short-sighted. But don't look away, my dear pupil. Today I posit that one of the main reasons this iconic Dungeons & Dragons monster, the Beholder, lives rent-free in the mind's eye of millions of players is because of how it breaks D&D's rules by relying on the dice to make the results of combat unforeseeable, much easier for the DM, and more fun for everyone at the table. Because I'm Bob, this is where we learn how to have more fun playing RPGs together. This whole video is sponsored by Nimble TTRPG, and hindsight is 2020, so we'll have to find out later if any of those puns landed. But this is it. This 10-sided die is the monster. Not monstrous like the 4-siders that put Legos to shame at destroying feet, though we will talk about monsters that fit each of your favorite RPG dice today. This D10 is the Beholder in D&D's game design, thanks to these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 eye stalks wiggling around, shooting off rays with unique effects. First video in months outside, and the train has already got me. From the monster manual, multi-attack. The Beholder uses eye rays 3 times, and eye rays. The Beholder randomly shoots one of the following magical rays at a target it can see within 120 feet of itself. Roll 1d10, reroll if the Beholder has already used that eye ray during this turn. Possible results for rays include Charm, Paralyzing, Fear, Slowing, Enervation, Telekinetic, Sleep, Petrification, Disintegration, and Death. And I claim that this design breaks D&D's rules because out of 500 or so monsters in the book, only a couple others, like the Gibbering Mouther and the Slotty, have randomized attacks, which is honestly very weird for a game that uses so many cool dice. But with the Beholder, even the Dungeon Master gets to enjoy more moments of discovery regarding how this monster is going to behave in battle. And, as we'll see for many other examples in this video, the DM can relax a little, knowing that this monster partially runs itself. But now, what if I told you that instead of needing to read an entire page of combat statistics for this nearly perfect 5e monster, you, the DM, could achieve that same ease of use and feeling of discovery with about an index card or less? Because you can do that. Meet Dravok, the all-seeing tyrant who likes long levitations on the beach and is a technically 5e compatible legendary monster, aka Solo, aka boss monster from Nimble RPG. Let's jump right into his actions. After each hero's turn, move 6, and then either use Eye Ray or Terrible Maw. So first of all, you heard right. Dravok goes after every PC's turn, and with this design, Dravok and all Nimble's boss monsters are automatically balanced to your party, whether you got 3 characters or 11. They just go between everyone. Anyway, move 6 refers to my greatest nemesis, a number of 5-foot squares, so up to 30 feet, and then roll for an eye ray or choose this pretty impressive melee attack. And for comparison, Dravok's possible rays include Warping, Petrification, Terror, Gravitation, Charm, and Death. Hey, wait, 1, 2, 3, that's only 6. You ever walk way too far for like a 3-second bit? Fewer options to be sure, but keeping the most interesting and unique effects while condensing the details. Excellent. And yeah, there's clearly a lot of redesigning happening in this version of a 5e stat block. Armor is streamlined, ability bonuses just use advantage, he's got cool rules for critical hits, causing some status conditions, and my favorite, Nimble boss battles are automatically divided into stages of increasing power based on the monster's decreasing hit points. So cool. And thus, in tutorial fashion, I want to show off some ridiculously simple Nimble 5e monsters and work our way back up to Dravok. But before that, I want to make sure I actually tell you about Nimble's incredible new book. Monsters and More has over 200 streamlined monsters, about tripling the bestiary from the Nimble core set, with over 30 new legendary bosses, 150 loot items, 20 new companion creatures, and new optional rules to help make this game your own. If you haven't seen my other videos about Nimble, this game takes the heroism you love from 5th edition, but cuts out all the bloat, making every combat turn smoother, more collaborative, and packaging it in these beautifully illustrated, digest-sized books. To be clear, Nimble's not speeding up combat to get it out of the way, it's making sure you're not stuck, bored, waiting for your turn, so you can pack more heroic combat into every session. And if you want to see the Nimble core rules, the awesome new book, or the low prep adventures and the handy cards and more, check out the Kickstarter through my link below so they know who sent you. And we gotta get a nature break for this woodpecker over here. I don't know how well you can see and probably not hear him at all, but usually if I'm walking and talking in the woods, birds just clear out. So it is very weird to me that only maybe 20, 30 feet away, a movement speed away, this guy's just having a ball. All right, I lied earlier. This 4-sided die is a monster. Look at this stat block for the kobold minion. It's just a name, level, size, and stab. 1d4 follows minion rules. So what are these minion rules we must follow? Easy. No HP to track, any damage kills a minion, and that's heroic, just slicing through swaths of bad guys. 2, easy attacks. Each minion attacks with a single damage die, cannot crit, and misses on a roll of 1. Because in Nimble, everyone attacks by just rolling damage, no d20 to hit, and you miss on a 1, but PCs and normal monsters might roll multiple damage dice and can crit by rolling the highest result and then re-rolling that die. And 3, simplified defense. When multiple minions attack a single target, their damage is combined and counts as a single attack, so heroes can defend or interpose against all of them at once. In short, this keeps minion turns smooth and keeps the action economy from spiraling out of control. Wish we had that for the real economy. So pretty much just a d4, but that's not quite all. Every kobold variant shares this flavorful description and a feature called No! When an ally within 2 spaces dies, attack once for free, which can make even a load of minions pretty dangerous. So now look at this regular kobold, or this kobold clanger drumming on its armor to rally allies, or this kobold trapper slinging nets and scorpions and bees with 3 E's. The writing itself feels fun, and each kobold variant adds these interesting features while staying rooted in this easy Game Master directive of just roll a d4. There's even simple kobold encounters listed here alongside flavorful loot, all on a digest-sized page with a cool illustration. To me, that's a perfect monster. Now, we could review all the goblin variants and how they're based on a d6, or the bandits, all based on a d8, or the gnolls on a d10, but why not look at some other creative twists on this design? So, for the d6, here are the oozes. And first of all, yes, these 4 creatures all fit in basically one little stat block, because they share 2 flavorful features, but they all vary in level, size, hit points, number of attacks, reach, and this bold red modifier that determines both how fast they can dissolve targets and how many minion oozes split off when slashed or crit. So the Ochre Jelly, level 4, is a fair fight against 4 level 1 PCs. It is large, has 52 HP, and can attack twice, rolling 1d6 plus 3 and 1d6 plus 3. But according to this first feature, Digestive Touch, they deal additional 3 damage for each time the target has been touched by the ooze during this encounter. And don't forget the other feature, Goopy. When crit or dealt any slashing damage, summon 3 ooze minions, size d6, which can also digest targets. So on one hand, yeah, these ooze variants don't get increasingly interesting features like the kobolds, bandits, and gnolls, and more, but on the other hand, they don't even have hands. These are oozes, man. We all know what makes oozes interesting is dissolving stuff and splitting into more oozes, not the player gotcha moment of this ooze is immune to acid, not like that other one that was immune to lightning or whatever. Those differences can be fun, but here we retain the most fun features, simply scaling them up for each tier of play, which is also a cool approach that helps the game master. But if you want more detail, we've got more detail. For a D8 monster, here's one of Nimble's forest denizens, the Basilisk. Level 7, so one Basilisk is a fair fight for 7 level 1 PCs, or 3 or 4 level 2 PCs. 48 hit points with heavy armor, so it takes only half of the damage rolled against it and ignores damage modifiers. And 3 interlacing flavorful features. Stone Gaze dazes one creature in sight, meaning that a target can perform one fewer action than normal on its turn. But on the same turn for the Basilisk, it can also use Envenom to deal 1d8 plus 10 damage with advantage on dazed creatures. And with its flesh to stone feature, getting dazed 3 times by the Basilisk means you are petrified. So no, savvy viewer, this too is not a randomized attack by any means, but with this approach, completely removing any guesswork on how to run this monster, it once again erases any mental burden for the GM. On your turn, just roll a d8, daze somebody, and keep track of how many times you daze somebody. Any GM with a little experience could run this monster on the fly. Speaking of which, I gotta give you a sneak peek of the new book. These Drow variants all use a D8 and have their own special actions and features like what we saw with the kobolds, but check out these action recommendations. One to go easy on the players, and one with no mercy. Now that is a GM-friendly monster design. How have I never seen this before? Okay, back to zero mental burden, practically automated monster design. Here's those D10 gnolls after all. Regular gnoll can ravage twice in melee or shoot once at range, and the pack leader can ravage 3 times, while also ordering 2 allies to move on the same turn. So as the GM, when your turn comes, you can just roll a fistful of D10s and take the results in order. 4 and 6 damage to you in melee with the injured gnoll, scratching and biting wildly, then 8 damage to you and 3 to you as javelins rain from these 2 on the hill, but then yeah, they both charge forward with the pack leader who looks like they mean business. Done. And that covered the actions of 5 monsters. Next, and I'm not going to reveal this one really, but the new book has a Tarrasque stat block that uses both D20s and D100s for damage. Instead, let's just bring it back home to our boy Dravok the All-Seeing Tyrant. Remember, as a solo creature, being level 12 means he's balanced to fight any size party of level 12 heroes. With 325 hit points, no armor, and advantage 2 on intelligence and will, aka wisdom and charisma, so he rolls 2 extra dice and takes the highest for those abilities, and thanks to his feature, My Plan's Flawless, he makes all saves with +1 advantage, and attacks against him have disadvantage unless, due to this very cool weakness, he takes 12 piercing or slashing damage. Interlacing cool features. And we covered his main action, so let's just look at the rays. Warping deals damage, dazes the target, and swaps places with the target. Very cool. Petrification dazes the target until they are healed, and just like the Basilisk, 3 of this ray turns you to stone. Terror deals damage, and a condition defined here, your screams give allies disadvantage until you trigger Dravok's weakness. More interlacing layers of gravitation deals damage, pushes you based on the amount of damage, and probably knocks you prone. Charm triggers a save and takes control of the target for a few actions, while still letting the target have their own turn. Nicely done. And the Death Ray triggers a save to drop you to 0 HP or gain a wound, or just kills a target that's already down. I don't think you need much more than those 6 effects, but we do have that terrible Toothy Maw, 44 damage where every die can crit, unlike usual where you'd only go by the leftmost die result, and these dice are vicious, meaning not 1, but 2 extra dice per crit, which is pretty crazy for D4s. And the stages of boss battles, here we go. When your players get Dravok down to 110 hit points, he unleashes a petrification ray against every enemy. and his save DCs for the charm and death rays increase from 16 to 18. But finally, the last stand is triggered when a boss drops to 0 hit points and gets a new, smaller hit point pool and another boost in power. For Dravok, 70 more damage to finish the fight, but until then, each turn, he will move or use the Warping Ray, and then, a new feature, Devastation Beam. 2d12 plus 20 damage in a 50-foot long, 10-foot wide laser, I assume. Incredible. And for me, a perfect monster. But let me know in the comments what you would do differently, because that freedom to make these games our own is what makes this hobby so freaking fun. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree. Thanks again to Evan, the creator of Nimble, for sponsoring this video. And huge thanks, as always, to my patrons and YouTube members for making all this possible. Keep building. And dang, view through the camera really doesn't do it justice, even though a highway takes up a good chunk of the view. A fun adventure nonetheless. Okay, bye.